Jorge Gonzalez, Top Bid 90. We have the pleasure today of sitting down with the Crown Legacy head coach, Gary Dicker. Gary, how are you today?
Nice to meet you.
Good, good. Like we were just talking previously, you kind of brought some England weather with you here, correct?
I think it's a lot worse than England. I haven't been used to -8 in a long time in Celsius. So no, listen, the weather is what it is. We've been able to train. When the sun comes out, it's still quite warm, so I'm happy.
Nice, awesome. Well, talk to us a little bit about how the opportunity came for you to sign with Crown Legacy.
Yeah, like everything, I think I wasn't looking to leave the role that I was in previously, and sometimes opportunities come up. I spoke to the club then about it and spoke about coming over to see the facilities. I came over with my wife in October. Really enjoyed it. The city, seeing the training facility, the stadium, the growth that's here at the club, the ambition, the staff already here, the manager all the way down. Spoke to Zoran, Tommy, Bobby, spoke to the gaffer as well, Moyle. So for me, it ticked all the boxes and the next step for me in my career.
Nice, awesome. One of the things I saw was that you actually broke down a match between Charlotte and Philadelphia to Dean Smith, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Could you give us a little bit more insight into that?
Yeah, listen, they asked me to watch a first team game and to analyse it, and then I had to present it obviously to the gaffer and Miles, and I obviously just wanted to see if I could see what they could see, or seeing the same thing, and it was really helpful for me. I had a great chat with them. I ended up spending about an hour and a half with them, and it was really enjoyable. It was good for me to have a look at them, and obviously to learn more about the league. There's loads to learn from me, so it was really good. It made the conversation easy, and they won that game, so it was easy to talk about.
Nice, awesome. That's great. That's great. When it comes to the build, right? You're looking at the first team. You're looking at Crown Legacy. You're looking at the academies. Is maybe the thought process to kind of have a similar playing structure, or is it changing it up a bit? What are kind of your early thoughts?
I think everyone has little bits and ways of doing stuff and how you're playing. I spoke to the gaffer, Tommy, Bobby, Zoran. It's not going to feel like two teams. It's not going to feel like first team, Crown Legacy, and then the academy. It's got to feel like one from the ground up, which is really important. Not saying it hasn't been before, but going to really concentrate on that. No point Crown Legacy winning the league and Charlotte not making the playoffs, and I'm not producing any players for the first team, so it doesn't make sense. So we're here, everyone worked together. There's a really good structure in the academy already. There's lots of good stuff going on. Can I add a bit of stuff that I know that's worked? My ideas, some of their ideas, but this is going to feel like one club. The gaffer at the top of it, and then it filters down. Our job is a bit of everything. Yeah, you got to be competitive. I want to win. Got to produce players. Got to pull players through from the 18s. The 16s are going to start having produce more players for the 18s. But how it looks and what it should feel like is everything's geared towards the first team. We've got first, my role is to make sure they have everything that they need to win. Then I have to do my own job. Then I have to produce players and I have to be competitive. So it's going to be a lot closer than it has been. First week was brilliant. I spent the first week with the first team coaching. Unbelievable experience. Gaffer, Miles, Fuchs, straight in, taking sessions. Really enjoyable. Got to know first team players. Got to see some of the Crown Legacy. So it's going to be a lot tighter as a club, and I'm excited about it. The growth that's here. There's so much to get hold of, and we're just going to do it in blocks.
Nice. And you were asked in a Brighton podcast, just about coming to MLS. One of the things you mentioned was that it's not a retirement league anymore, or it doesn't have that feel. Now being here, spending a week with this team and kind of seeing the facilities and kind of being more ingrained to it, what are your kind of early thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. The standard, the type of player. Listen, look who the first team have just signed. Got Saha coming in, proven quality, can play at the highest level, and it's brilliant for our younger players because that's the levels that you need to start to reach now. It's going to shift, I think, with the club. The demands from everybody to get into our first team is going to raise the level the whole way down. As I said, that's why it's so important, that bit at the top. Yeah, we're all trying to get there. Great role models in the first team. You got Westy, you've got Nate Byrne, you got Ajiman coming through, you got Privet. What an example for the younger players to come through. So I think people are looking at it. I know you've got the other big boys at Inter Miami, but I think the league as itself, it's grown so much and it's got so much more to grow as well. And I'm excited for that part of it, my own bit, getting to know the league better. I know there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of different stuff with the transfer, so I've loads to learn. And I've come here and people have probably asked the why, and I don't really get it. I think you probably undervalue yourselves as a league, people that work here. For me, it ticks loads of boxes. Again, I'm coming to work under a manager that's managed so many games in the Premier League. You got Moyles, who's been in the MLS for so long. Fuchs, who's won the Premier League, is now coaching here. There's three things straight away. Forget the rest of it. If you'd asked me to work at that tree, then you add in all the players, the facilities, the growth. I think it's the other way around. I think we're asking, why wouldn't you come here?
I love that. Let's talk a little bit about the super draft and, you know, picking players in, right? That's something that you're not accustomed to in, you know, Premier League soccer and just in England in general, right? And so maybe what kind of insight can you give us actually experiencing that for the first time and just seeing what that was like, especially with a MLS team like Charlotte that takes that very serious? I wouldn't say every MLS team does. And we've seen the fruits of it with guys like Patrick Agyemang and Andrew Privet now have solidified themselves in the first team.
Yeah, I went to San Diego. I think 5 of us went. Shows the level and the commitment to the club and, like you said, how much they value it. Completely different experience for me. One, I really enjoy it. Get to watch training, seeing players, difficult for them in an environment they're playing with people they don't know. Watch training, watch the game, sat down and interviewed players, which is unique because they're actually, it's usually when you're at that stage where I've experienced, the manager's just selling it to you or the coach, where they're still trying to sell it to you a little bit. So it was really interesting. I think it's the buy-in all the time. It's part of the culture over here. It's part of how stuff's done. So I really enjoyed it. Something that was totally new to me. Knew a little bit about it. Was asking a million questions. Well, why is this player not here? And some players get picked for it. Some players don't. It's quite tactical. Some clubs, I know, Inter Miami don't interview any player on site because they don't want anyone to see who they're talking to. So I learned loads. I met loads of people. So it was really good for me, and I'll throw myself into everything and try to understand it as best I can.
Nice. And then the draft picks that Charlotte was able to get, you know, and Mika Thomas, Andrew Johnson, and Barzi Blama, 2 defenders and strikers. What can you have you had any conversations with them, you know, maybe about their process, or what does that kind of look like from a Charlotte perspective?
I think it's really good here how they do it, like with recruitment. You know, Bobby's heavily involved, and the rest of the scouting team that are involved, and they're 3 players that really interested them and shone for them, and they're the ones we went for. I'd seen clips of them. The scouts and all that would have done their homework. I think we touched on already how much the club values it. It wouldn't have been the first time they've seen them, put it that way, and made a choice in players, which is really good. Another bit where everyone, it's really collective, really. Everyone gets a little bit of a say, what you think, opinions, and then they make a decision on players. So I'm excited to work with all the players. I know you mentioned them 3, but I'm excited to see everyone that's here.
Nice.
Just excited to see the people that are in the building. I think that's really important, the ones that have been here. and the new ones coming in, can they make us better?
Nice. Have you gotten a sense of maybe some of the current Crown Legacy squad? You know, there's players that we're all keeping an eye on, like Aaron, like obviously Nimfasha, who trained with Man United, who may be going between Charlotte FC and, you know, Crown Legacy. What are what are maybe some early impressions of the squad to you?
Yeah, I think they've all been brilliant. I said I wouldn't really single anyone out because I think everyone's attitude, their application, maybe it's because it's a new man in the door or it's early in pre-season. I'm not picking a team yet. I'm not disappointing anyone yet, but the application from everyone, the attitude, the wanting to get better. Yeah, they'll make mistakes, the young players, but there's a lot of good players here in the younger age groups, in my age group. So I'm really excited to see how I can help them get them better, which is my job first and foremost. So I've been really happy with the first week, this week, with the squad. Really pleased.
Nice. Is there anything, maybe it's too early to look at this, but you know, you've been with the Brighton under 23s, 21s, and 18s, I believe. You know, and now you're with a young squad here of academy players, college players, you know. The mentality and maybe players that are coming through an American system versus what they're experiencing in England. Is there any differences that you're noticing?
I couldn't tell you early on. I think the beauty of young people and people, no one's the same. Everyone's different. Everyone's got a different story. Everyone's got a different background. Everyone's got a different goal. The why they do it is different. So I think too early, yeah, there's always little bits that you can see and what you need to get there. But I wouldn't say one or the other yet. I couldn't see a difference yet. I think, listen, it's the same football. It's the same size pitch. The demands never change. And I'll say to them, you got to be able to run, you got to be able to tackle, you got to be able to handle the ball, you got to understand systems, you got to eat well, you got to sleep well. That doesn't change no matter what country you're in and what, but the cultures, different style of player, yeah, definitely. But I've been used to that. I've had players from all over the world in different academies, so it's always a challenge. Not saying it's easy either. Young players, inconsistent. That's part of being a young player. You'll make good decisions, bad decisions. I made many bad ones when I was younger, but we're there to help them and guide them and probably give them enough. And the person, I think, is really important. Spoke to all the players individually about that, getting to know them. I said it's just important to know who you're coaching and how you coach them and what other stuff's going on in their life, because that can shape you as a young person. You could have different things going on, so I think it's really important, that side of it, and got some really good people here as well that are at the club, and hopefully I can just add to it.
Nice, awesome. We've been covering the team since its inception, so first season of Crown Legacy, you know, top of the East, and they went out first playoff game. Second season, they finished 8th and surprised everybody by beating Cincinnati, right? And so you kind of have like those big highs and those lows through seasons, right? Talk to me about where you're at, what you want to see from this squad, and what maybe we can expect from Crown Legacy this season.
I just want to improve players. I want to produce players. Again, if we win the league and we produce no players, and 2 years later, every player gets released. Yeah, it might look good for me, but that's not my job. Understanding the role, I think it's really important. I think you touched on it. You're going to get that inconsistency. That's the only consistent thing about young players. You're going to get it. We've got to be really, really deliberate with what we want to do and how we get players through. I think that's the key. How are we getting them through? How does it look like? Yeah, if we're winning the league every year, again, if we're last every year, that doesn't help either. Winning helps, 100%. Opportunity, patience, think I've learned a lot. Didn't have a lot when I stopped, and then when I started coaching, and not to judge or give up on someone too soon. I think especially young people, young players, try not to be biased. Everyone sees certain things they like in players. So, as I said, it's going to be a real collective thing here. But for me, what's a good season? Players getting better, playing good football. I think soccer, I should be saying. Players enjoying it and being competitive. Every game should be going out to win every game. I ain't coming here either just to have a kick about. I want to win just as much, but the bigger picture stuff is important for the club. And it ain't going to happen overnight. People think you start academies or we're going to produce every player every year. It ain't. It might take 5-6 years to fully see all the good work that's been going on from the other age groups, from the 14s, from the 15s. Could be 4 years' time till you start benefiting from that. Players coming in earlier, getting better training. It can take time to do that. So I said patience with everything, but you'll get entertainment. Hopefully you come and watch the games, you'll enjoy it. You'll start to see what a Charlotte Crown Legacy team looks like, what we expect. So hopefully that answers it.
Nice. I love that. Is there anything like of interest of like with MLS Next Pro? They try out some rules, and some of them are interesting.
Yeah.
Is there any that have caught your eye that you're like, wait, what?
The subs have to spread off. In fairness, we trialled a few in England. I think they brought in last year in the PL2 in England was if the goalkeeper held on to it for 8 seconds, you got a corner.
Okay.
I know you have a few over here.
Okay.
So I've been part of a few trial and errors already and getting used to it. But listen, I'm not one to get too involved in that. I have enough stuff to be going on and worrying about and organising that. It'll be interesting. Again, you've got to accept it. I'm coming into a different league with different styles, different rules sometimes. You got to get on with it. You can't keep comparing what it was to this. You just got to get on with it.
Nice. In the past, you've mentioned that that the best managers that you've played under had a good, strong sense of structure. How do you plan? I guess is that something that you're looking to incorporate in your managerial career as well, or how could that maybe impact the way you look at the game from a coaching perspective?
Definitely. I think I enjoyed being in a team that knew what they were doing. Might be hard to believe, but I played under a lot of head coaches, managers that it was us against them. Hopefully you come out on top if you have a better day. So understanding your role as an individual and to be able to show what you're good at. I think no point me telling Nympha, oh, you're going to be attacking, you need to be a winger, and he gets 3 opportunities to do the game because the ball's going back to front. He ain't going to develop, he ain't going to get better at what he needs to get at. If we have more control, yeah, he might get 11 1v1s instead of 2. And he might be front facing the defender, he's not with his back to goal. So I like structure, not set in stone, not robots, but I want to give young players a chance to actually have a go at what they need to get better at. So breaking the game down, how it looks, how many times our centre-back's going to head it, does he know how to defend the box, can he mark from a corner, does he have to tick all the boxes before they go up to the next level. So I think it's really important to have structure, because I want the ball. I said it in that. Nobody starts to play and says, I don't want the ball, I'd just rather not have it. As a kid, you want the ball.
100%. So
they'll enjoy it, but they'll enjoy getting it back as well.
Nice. And just a couple more, and then we'll finish this as well. You've been with the U18s, U21s, like we mentioned earlier. Do you think we could see maybe an interchange of that talent pool from, maybe Premier League players that you may feel aren't ready for the Prem, but have a better process through MLS and vice versa? Yeah,
definitely. I think you'll see now with the players that have left the MLS, they're getting big moves to Europe, to the Premier League. And 100%, I think as a young player, and I said it to you there, I don't see why you wouldn't want to come here and play in this league. The facilities, the growth of it, the style, it's a hell of a lot better standard than people think. But the whole package here, as a player, I think so exciting to come here. The facilities, the stadiums, you know better than me when you see them.
Yeah.
That's what you do it for. You want to play in at them stadiums. You want to feel like a proper soccer player going in, and you're playing in front of 40, 50,000, and you've got many good facilities here.
Nice. And then one of the things you mentioned to Dean Smith was you want to become a better coach than you were a player, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, a move for you like this, you're going from, I guess, somewhere where you were comfortable, your family's comfortable.
Yeah.
You're moving them here, whole new country. What is kind of like Gary's short and long-term goals?
To be fair, my family is massive. I think you touching on it there, like without them and their support, I think you touched on it. We were all comfortable. Listen, I had a great life where I was living. My wife, she's from there. My kids born and bred there. All our family's there. So for them to come on the journey and to probably give me the confidence and support to come here, to move. It ain't easy as a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old to rock into school. I'll take my hat off to them, to my wife coming over, leaving her friends, family, kids, managing all that, having to do all this stuff. So they've played a massive part in my career till now. And you're right, I could have sat there and been really comfortable. I'm ambitious as the next guy, but I'm also patient. I don't want to sprint before I can run. I know what I've got to do. I know I've got loads to learn. But coming over here, I'm highly ambitious. I want to be a head coach. One, definitely. Do I see a pathway to learn here and get better? Yeah, definitely. I think you look too far ahead in this game, you get caught out. A week is a long time in this game. So my ambition, be a manager. Could be tomorrow. It could be 3 years down the line. As I said, you don't know what's around the corner. Not in this. I think, but the main thing for me is I know where I want to get to. When I get there, I'll let you know.
Perfect.
But I've got a plan like everyone. But how long it's going to take, who knows? It could be tomorrow, as I said. But I'm happy where I'm at. As I said, I'm working under a manager that has so much experience, so much to learn from. So I'm in a good place.
Nice. Gary, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to seeing this Crown Legacy team develop and seeing you here this season.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Cheers, chaps.